Everyone, welcome back. My name is Christina. I'm here to talk to you today about time management and how if you implement appropriate time management techniques, it can dramatically increase your productivity and happiness you have in your life. With that said, I would be curious, how many of you have gone through the day, you were super busy, but yet you look back and you're like, I don't know what I got done. All those other really important things just never got, you just never got to them. So here today, we're going to talk about 5 time management techniques that you can use starting today that will dramatically increase your productivity and your feeling of accomplishment that you have in your day-to-day life. So the first secret I have for you when it comes to addressing time management and how to be better at it is starting with your mindset. Now, we're just going to get right to the chase of this. A lot of individuals say, well, I don't have the time. What that does is that puts you in the state of being the victim. We're going to change that starting today. Instead of telling yourself, I don't have time, because it makes it sound like you're a victim of your circumstances, what you're going to do in your day-to-day life is, as you're figuring out what you choose to do and what you choose not to do, those things that you choose not to do, you're going to tell yourself, that is not a priority for me right now. Now, that might sound very blunt and direct, and it's supposed to. It's supposed to really force you to really check yourself on that item or that task that you're telling yourself you don't have time for. Do you really not have time for it? Or is it more that it's not a priority for you to do at this time? So, first piece of insight there to share is that you have to tell yourself it's not a priority for you right now. And trust me, these things actually come into play. And they do test you, especially when there are things that you know you need to do and you're like, wait, is that really not a priority for me? It is a priority. So I would challenge you to change your mindset on being a victim and saying, oh, I don't have the time, to identifying those things that you choose not to do, and you tell yourself that's just not a priority for me. Another piece of insight to share when it comes to mindset changes is that a lot of people have it set in their mind that you are that time is what's in control. That is a facade. That is not true. You are in control of your time. Everybody, may they be successful or not successful, has the same amount of time. We all have the same amount of time. What happens is what you choose to do with it. That's what's going to make or break the quality of the day that you have. So what I challenge you to do as well is to also take a look at how you're perceiving time and put yourself in the position of being the person who is in charge, other than the person who is just running with time being the orchestrator. Time does not control you. Yes, we all have fixed time, absolutely. But time is not in control. It's you. It is you who is in control. You're in control of your time. You are in complete control of what you do with your time. It's interesting how when we get older, we lose sight of that. You are in control of your time. You are not a victim of your time. In addition to that, the things you choose to do or choose not to do, you need to reframe your mind and tell yourself, if you choose to not do something, you need to tell yourself that is not a priority for me right now. And as you say that to yourself, that will drive that reinforcement on your end. Is it truly not a priority for you, or is that something you just don't feel like or want to do at this moment, even though it really should be your priority? So when it comes to my first insight to share with you, that is it. Change your mindset. You're not a victim, and you have full control of your time. Let's jump into the next piece I have. All right, guys. So we have got our mindset shifted, right? We know that we are in control of time, and then we also know that we're not a victim. We make decisions about what is and is not a priority. The next aspect I want to share with you is taking one or two, they can be personal or professional, aspirations that you have, goals for you, and you are to put them in a SMART format. SMART is an acronym for the framework that I'm about to explain to you. S is for specific. Your goal needs to be specific. So be very clear about the goal that you're trying to hit. Don't say, I want to be better at writing. Say, I want to be able to publish for, let's just say, a world-renowned medical journal. Like, be very specific about what you're trying to do. Or if you say, hey, I want to be healthier. Well, in what way? You need to drill down to the most specific level you can on what that means and what that looks like. The next piece is that it is measurable. If you say, hey, I have a goal and my goal is to pass a certain certification, say you're trying to do coding, computer coding, for example, there's an exam you need to take in order to show your proficiency. That is measurable. The next piece is achievable. This piece is really important. You need to do some honest, true reflection with yourself and think, hey, is this a goal that is achievable with where I am mentally, personally, professionally, emotionally? I mean, check every box. Is this something that is achievable for me at this point in my life? Have that honest conversation with yourself and then really reflect. Because if it is achievable, I absolutely want you to push for that. And even if you're thinking to yourself, well, this definitely pushes me outside of my comfort zone, that's perfect. That's where you want to be. So make sure your goal is achievable. Next piece is making sure that it is relevant, right? Why is it important? Well, hopefully if it's one of the top goals for yourself, it should be relevant. It should either tie to something for you that you personally aspire for, or something from a professional standpoint that you aspire to do or to achieve. So make sure this is something that's important to you. Don't be putting goals together because you want to improve or impress your spouse. Don't do that. Don't do goals for others. You do them for you. And then another aspect of this is time bound. You have got to put yourself in a time box so that you have a very structured framework on how you're going to go about achieving your goal. And so let's just say you want to run a half marathon. You know there's one coming up in September and it's May. Tell yourself, hey, I am going to run this half marathon that's scheduled on X date in September. You will be ready for it. That is a way for you to be time bound. So just to wrap that piece up, SMART goals are specific, they are measurable, they are achievable, they are relevant, and they are time bound. Make sure you take a few goals that are important to you, map them out in a SMART format, have all 5 aspects of it nailed down. If you have questions on how to do this, or if you need feedback or want some ideas from me, definitely drop them in the comments below. Let's hop to the next insight that I have to share with you. You've written down your SMART goals, and now we're going to put those goals into action. What I want you to do at the end of every day is plan for the next day. What you're going to do is you're going to schedule time with yourself to work on these goals that you have. And so, as I mentioned, make sure your goals are prioritized and you're not taking on too many at once, but you're going to schedule time with yourself each and every day. What you're going to do is you're going to block out time between your other fixed time boxes that you have, and some of those that are relatable are when you go to work and when you sleep, and if you have kids activities, things like that. And so you need to work around those other time boxes and schedule time with yourself to work on your goals. Now, here comes life, right? So when we go through our day, there are things that are going to pop up. No matter what you do, you can't plan for them. So I'm going to give you this framework to use on how you go about those things that just come at you at all different angles. So this is called the Eisenhower Matrix. What this does is it helps you decide what do you address, how do you address it, and when do you address it. So I want to explain 2 concepts to you that are important. One, defining what is urgent. So something that is urgent is something that is time sensitive. It has clear deadlines. It is something that if you neglect this, it will have immediate consequences. More immediate consequences than not dealing with it. So that's what the definition of urgent is. It's not, Christina's feeling. It's not my spouse's feeling. It's not that is the definition of it. And then let's talk about what is important. So these are tasks that are important to you from a long goal perspective, right? They don't really have deadlines, but achieving these or making sure that these things happen is of value to you as a person. So we just defined what is urgent and what is important. Now let's talk about those things that get thrown at us every day. How do we deal with them in all 4 different scenarios? First one is, if you have something that is urgent and important, this is something you need to do immediately. Step away, take care of it. That's it. That one is easy to address. The next one is something that is not necessarily urgent, but it is something that is important. So this is where you're going to need to learn to grow a little bit, because these are things that you should address, but it doesn't mean that it has to be right now. With that, I encourage you to schedule these things. This is where you really need to be disciplined in, because for example, you need to call the doctor or you need to make an appointment. Yes, that is important, but do you need to do it right now, or should you be working on what's in your time box? I would argue that you can shift calling the doctor and calling a little bit later. So with that, I would recommend that you work on those items that come through they're not urgent, but they're important. Schedule them in your time. You'll find yourself able to stay on task and stay focused a lot more easily. Next thing to talk through is, this is something that is urgent, but it's not necessarily important. So it's not something that's really imperative to you for you to fix or for you to be a part of. And so these are things that actually end up being more like interruptions, such as phone calls or emails, things like that. And these are things that I would encourage you to either delegate or try to minimize. There is a whole nother aspect on like how to go about your workday and how to be more productive that I will share in a separate video here in the near future. The next piece to talk about is something that is not urgent, not important. Let's talk about how you get pulled into those things. An example could be that you pick up your phone and you're texting so-and-so because you need to get it, you need to address whatever it is, and then you get a notification from social media, somebody posted something new, you hop into social media, and then boom, you're in there for 10, 15, 30 minutes. These activities are time wasters. And it's not just scrolling on social media or like looking at your phone. That includes, binge watching on TV. There's a ton of other things that just cause us to invest our time into things that are neither urgent nor important. And so with that, I would encourage you to minimize these and to try to keep yourself focused on what actually matters for you and your future. Let's hop into my last tip that I have to share with you. All right, guys, the last tip I have to share with you is the Pomordo Technique. It takes me several times to say that, more than once. What this is an opportunity to give you focused time to work on activities that require deep, intense brain focus. And so what you're going to do is that you are going to have this box of time, and then you're going to set your timer down. And I want you to sit down and actually do the work that you need to get done in that amount of time. Do as much as you can. Once that timer is up, I want you to take a break. Literally get up, walk away, go have a glass of water, whatever you need to do. Take a break for about 5 minutes. After you do about 4 of these sessions, I want you to take a longer break. Take about a 15-minute break and stretch, have a snack, move your body around, whatever it works and feels best for you. This works great because what you do is you tell yourself, hey, I am focused on this one task that I need to get done. It trains you to focus, and it gives you like these mandatory breaks for both like for you mentally and for your physically. It helps ensure that you don't get mentally exhausted, you don't get burnt out, and that you have enough time to work on that work that is important to get done. And so I would recommend giving this a try. So with that, let's sum everything up. We have talked about how we shift our mindset from being the victim to being in charge. We know that time does not control us. Our next piece that we talked about is that we talked about our goals and how we write them in a SMART format, and we prioritize them based on order of importance. Then our next piece that we talked about is time boxing, right? So the day before the start of the following day, you're going to go and you're going to time box and make sure that those goals that you just worked on are slotted into the other time frames that you need to work amongst, so that you can actually feel like you are slowly chipping away and getting things done that are important and imperative to you growing as a person. And then our next step that we talked about was the ability for you to prioritize and figure out, hey, identify what is important, what is urgent, and then we walked through all those different scenarios and what to do in each and every one of them. And then the last piece we talked about is setting that focus time and using the Pomordo Technique on doing deep, meaningful work, and then ensuring that we have breaks in between. And so I gave you that framework on how to get started with that. With that, I do want to say, if you found the information I had to share helpful, insightful, didn't like it, drop your comments in the comments below. I would love to hear what you have to say. I'm always trying to figure out how I can be better. And so as time goes on, I'm hoping that I'm getting a little bit less camera shy and working on that to be a better creator for you. I would love to hear all the success or challenges that you might be having as you kind of go through and implement some of these changes. So please just drop your information and thoughts, input in the comments below. If this is something that's been helpful for you, please hit the like button. And then for more videos that are going to be coming up, definitely hit that subscribe button so you are lock in step with what we have going on here. With that, I want to say thank you for watching, keep growing, and I will see you next time.